This is the Weekend Brunch, and you're with Anita.
Radio 1.
Welcome to 94.3 Radio 1. We have with us author Hywel Richard Pinto, who's just launched his book, Icebound, a thriller, a mystery, a dystopian fiction. That's what they call it. So welcome to the Weekend Brunch, Hywel. It's good to have you.
Good to be here also.
You know, I was just reading about you. I mean, you're a media planner. You've worked for various media companies, agencies, and you've done international research in entertainment. And now you're with Group M. You call yourself a weekend writer. I mean, tell me, Hywel. I mean, it is Teachers' Day today. So how did it all begin?
I would say it all began with my mother. She had a reading bug, as I would call it. She still has, but back in those days, I think the only source of books was maybe a circulating library. And I picked up from her and started reading Enid Blyton, moved on to the Hardy Boys, and kept on moving on. And I think that's been one of my inspirations. Just keep reading.
Keep reading.
Yeah.
If I had to ask you who your favorite authors are, who would you say?
I like David Baldacci because he writes a lot of different genres. So there is, espionage books. There are some which bring a tear to your eye. So it's a whole lot of different genres that he writes. There's also Matthew Riley, who I read very regularly. And there's this new author called Hugh Howey. Mm-hmm. And he has actually been my inspiration to write or to publish a book.
And why would you say he's an inspiration? There must be a little story behind that.
So the story is that apparently around 6 or 7 years back, when he had written his first draft, he sent it to around 10 or 15 publishers, and they all said no, we are not going to publish this. And so that was a time when Kindle was just about launching in the US. So what he did is he made sets of his chapters, so 10 sets every week or every month, and he started making it available on Kindle. People started reading it, and because it was short, it was nice, they started reading it, and once it caught on, the publication houses just came running to him, to sign up with them.
So it's like a never give up story.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's amazing. So you've never given up, I think.
Yeah.
So with your book, Icebound, and we're going to learn a little more about your techniques of how you've actually got into writing and some of the stories behind Icebound. So let's take a break right now. We're going to come back with more. We have Hywel Richard Pinto in the studio, who's written the book, the author of the book, Icebound. So don't go away. We've got a favorite song of yours coming up. We were just discussing a little while back. Dire Straits, Walk of Life.
Yeah.
Just for you.
This is the Weekend Brunch, and you're with Anita.
Radio 1.
It's the Weekend Brunch on Teachers' Day, and we have a very young author. His name is Hywel Richard Pinto, and he's written the book Icebound. It's a thriller, it's a mystery, and it's really interesting. Now, Hywel, when you started writing, I mean, this passion of yours, when you took it forward, how did you manage work and then writing the book? I mean, what was the kind of planning required to go behind you?
I think more than you require a lot of planning to be done, but I think more than that you also require support, which I've got from my wife. So she was one who was instrumental in pushing me and saying, use your creativity in the right manner, and that's what actually inspired me again to start off writing. While I write mostly on the weekends, the story flows right from Monday. So it's in my head. That's my document. That's my Word document. And as the weekend approaches, I then put it on paper. Sometimes I read through what I've written. I don't like what I've written, and then I change it back again. And so that's how the story evolves over weeks and months.
So you're very disciplined in when you get down to writing every weekend without fail.
I try and make the time with work and everything, but I do try and make at least an hour on the weekend.
Have you ever experienced a writer's block?
Not yet, thankfully.
Wonderful. All right, we are going to ask a question. You could win yourself Hywel Richard Pinto's book, Icebound, which he's written, and you must be really proud of writing that book.
Yeah, it is.
So we're going to ask a question to our listeners, and you could win yourself this book. All you have to do is tell me, who did Highwell pick up the bug of reading from? Was it from his mother? Was it from his teacher? Or was it from his wife? Get onto our Facebook page. You could also go to our Twitter handle, that's Anita On Demand. Leave your answer there. Or SMS one space your answer to 53650. And if you get it right, you win yourself a copy of Icebound by author Highwell Richard Pinto. So get cracking on that. We've got a song coming up. Which song do you want to listen to, Highwell?
Pet Shop Boys, Domino Dancing.
Done. Pet Shop Boys it is on the Weekend Brunch.
This is the Weekend Brunch, and you're with Anita.
Radio 1.
We're in conversation with Highwell Richard Pinto, the author of Icebound, right here on 94.3 Radio 1. This is the Weekend Brunch. You're with me, Anita, and we've been going through some of his stories and the way he's actually managed to write a wonderful mystery story, Icebound. Highwell, you give us a bit of the story of the book. What is it exactly? Just a snippet, but not too much to reveal the plot.
So the story is set on in the future. It's the year 2034, and Earth has frozen over. And even in this new age where Earth is frozen over, there's still a struggle for power between the people who have survived this whole thing. And so that's my whole story, where you don't know who's good, who's bad, what's going to happen till the end.
Wow. Sounds really interesting. The book is Icebound. Do pick it up. So where can we get your book?
So you can get it across all e-tailers. It's available on Amazon.in, Facebook, Flipkart. It's also available on crossword.in and Landmark on the net. And there's also a Kindle version for the tech-savvy guys, and Google Play version also.
Fabulous, fabulous, Highwell. You know, how do you get some sun in your life? We have a campaign going on, Get Some Sun, where we encourage people to go out and, travel, get some sun into their lives. I mean, whether it's music, traveling, sports, and being a writer, I'm sure you love to get out there.
Yeah, so my wife and I do trips quite often, at least once a year is what we try. Go to one of the sunny sides of Asia and try and get some sun there. But also what we do on maybe a daily or a weekly basis is try going for a run. So the morning time is when we generally go for our morning run together, and it's just nice at that point of time to really catch some rays.
Yeah, the weather is fabulous at that time. So do you think of stories when you're running?
No,
or is it
that's just time for running. The stories go on throughout the day, and I think the best time to think of the story is Bombay gives you that opportunity when you're stuck in traffic.
Fabulous, right?
So that's the best time when stories come into your head.
So a lot of writers, I guess I would call them traffic writers. They get all their inspiration there. So Highwell, it's wonderful that you've written the book Icebound. You have to give some takeaways for upcoming writers and my listeners.
Yeah, so I think the first point is that you need to have an idea, something which you're passionate about. Otherwise, it won't translate into the story. The second one is you never give up. So you might have a manuscript ready, send it to around 5-6 publishers, but no one may pick it up.
They might reject it.
Yes,
you
just need to hang in there and try all avenues in order to get it printed out.
Has it ever happened to you?
Yes, it has. I have sent my book. It has got rejected. I think it's part and parcel. You have to get rejected in order to get somewhere.
Okay, this is a quick one that I wanted to ask you. If a book is rejected, do you go back with the same book, or do you end up making some changes to it?
See, it depends on the feedback. So if the publication house says that, okay, the flow wasn't good or the grammar wasn't good, then you can make changes. But if they just say that we don't see a potential, then there is no point, because they don't see a potential. Someone else might. That is just their opinion. So then you don't need to change it. You just send it across to someone else.
And what's the third takeaway that you want to say?
Yes, so the story has to be fresh. It has to be something that is different from what is out there. Otherwise, people will say, okay, I've already read this kind of a story. It's just a change in the plot. So, yeah, you have to have a fresh idea which you're passionate about.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Highwell Richard Pinto, for being with us.
Thank you
author
for having
of
us.
Icebound. So, how can my listeners get in touch with you if they would like to ask you any questions?
So, I have a Facebook page. It's called Highwell Richard Pinto. That's HYWEL, Highwell Richard Pinto. You can also email me at highwellpinto@gmail.com.
Fantastic.
And there's a website also, but that's work in progress. So, it should be out in some time.
And what's our website going to be called?
It's going to be called highwellpinto.com. So.
Great. We're looking forward to more books from you and wishing you all the very best. And we had asked a question a little while back, and you could win yourself the book Icebound. All you have to tell us who has actually inspired him to read. Was it A, his mother, B, his teacher, or C, his wife? He picked up the bug of reading from who? You have to tell me, mother, teacher, or wife. SMS 1 space your answer to 53650, or you can get onto my Twitter handle, Anita On Demand, and win yourself that book. Or just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/radio1.mum, and take part in our contest. All right, we have to say bye to Highwell Pinto. We're going to leave him with one of his favorite songs. I've got Lynyrd Skynyrd waiting for you, so I hope you're going to enjoy that song. And good luck, and hope to see you again.
Thanks a lot, Anita, for having me here today.
You're welcome.